Hello and welcome to this edition of iTalk. It's not often that you have a film that talks about a time of cultural importance, but does so in a witty, funny, and engaging manner. Today we're talking about such film Wannabe. We're joined with the film's star coming up.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk, we talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's iTalk Movies.
Hello, we're talking today about the short film Wannabe, and we are joined by David Bloom. How are you doing today, David?
I'm good. How are you today?
I am doing very well. This film we're talking about is a short film. It just premiered at the Tribeca Film Festival.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I was watching it, and it's hilarious, and it's good because we were talking beforehand that it's a film that it's such a cultural, film. It touched on a time of importance, early '90s, New York City, kind of a time of racial tension. But it's funny. I mean, what were your thoughts kind of first reading the script and you seeing kind of both sides of it?
I mean, I felt that it was definitely important to have that humor aspect of it because it's touching on a very serious topic that actually happened. It's a problem, and it just throws in this one specific story of the true story of actually the director Matt. How this kid Daniel likes this girl Emefa during this time of this tension. I thought reading the script, I love the script. Shout out to the writers. Yeah. I thought it was a great script, and I really liked the project. Yeah,
and that is really the main plot kind of throughout. It is you and your character, going after this girl. And that's something that a lot of people can relate to, is obviously a young relationship, and even the challenge in general that is a young relationship, coupled now with this huge time of racial tension.
Oh, yeah.
And so, it certainly does a great job of highlighting that. And what was it like? Obviously, this was kind of a true story. What was kind of talked about going in there, and obviously having, the main writer on set and being able to kind of use his real world situation that kind of was the basis for this movie?
I thought it was a very good experience having him on set. Of course, he's a director, so he got to direct everything that we did, how he wanted it, how he wanted his childhood to go. And I thought it was very cool that I could actually fulfill someone's wish and be their story in this story. And I just thought it was very helpful to have him on set too, because sometimes he wouldn't give me a line read, but he'd tell me how to say this line, how he wanted it, and he'd kind of pull from how I believe how he would say that in that situation. And I thought it was just a great experience to have him on set.
Do you feel like you really actually related well to the character?
Yeah. I didn't grow up in New York in the 90s, but I am also a Jewish boy, and I felt like I can sometimes be awkward, a little confident sometimes, like Daniel, and I felt like I've definitely liked girls before, and I've definitely felt that same awkwardness. So I felt very connected to the character, and also somewhat the director as well. I mean, not who he was then at the age, but I felt that I connected to who he was when he was living in the 90s in New York.
And this is a similar, type of character. You look at some of your work, and obviously, the biggest one that a lot of people might know about is your character from Wet Hot American Summer, and it's very almost a similar character.
Very similar, yeah. I find that both these kids are little Jewish kids, and they're going after a girl. I mean, the ending of this one's definitely different than the ending of Wet Hot American Summer.
You got the girl this time, man.
I did,
well
yeah.
Well done.
Thanks. But I felt, they're very similar. They're both shy kids with the same little confidence who kind of want to talk to her, but they can't. And when they get the opportunity, they're they're shy and they just can't do it. I felt that my character Kevin in Wet Hot American Summer, because it was a longer, it was a miniseries, it was much longer, you definitely had more time to see him try to talk to her and then not. But in the short film, Wannabe, the second scene when they're walking, he's actually having a conversation with her, which I would find someone who likes a girl talking to her would be very tough.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you ever had any situation like that? I mean, obviously, as guys, we know growing up, it can be hard to talk to the girls. You ever had something like that growing up?
Not specifically.
You're lucky. You're a lucky man.
Yeah. I've liked people before, but typically when I do, I'm so shy that I just kind of bottle it all up and just don't talk to them at all. But
it's true, man. It happens. Go back to the film and talking about the early '90s. Did you know much about that time, or were you talking about? Did you just kind of learn about it reading the trailer? Did you do research kind of for that part and kind of realizing what that was like?
I actually didn't know much about what was going on. I enjoyed being on the film and being able to learn about all that was going on. Like, my dad helped me as well. My mom, both my parents, they told me what was going on. I did some research, and throughout, after finishing the movie and just all through just every day, I'm still learning more and more about what's going on there. And so I wasn't now I felt like if I went back knowing what I know now, it would be a little different, but I still felt that I was able to encompass what was going on with in the time period, with the actual character.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that they tried to send almost a message and help people understand with this film what was taking place then?
Yeah, there's one point in the film where I kind of get off the subway and I'm dressed in all these cool clothes, I'm a fanny pack and I'm trying to be cool, and I look across the street and there's just an African American person and this Jewish person, and they're kind of arguing, and they're not fist fighting, but they're fighting and they're yelling at each other, and my character gets really scared, and I felt that that's not the only part in the movie that shows that, but I felt the whole short film kind of was a take on what was going on, and it wanted to show people what was actually happening through a light and funny way. I
even noticed too with this film, it almost ties in a little bit today. I mean, there's a lot of times where there's been racial conflict in the news, and I feel like even something like this can be very helpful for people to watch even nowadays, and there's things that people can learn and to be able to kind of relate to.
Yeah, I mean, today there still is racial tension, and I feel that people watching this film, looking how this Jewish boy can get along with this Jamaican girl and her whole family, I feel that this touches on how we can actually and how we should all get along. And I feel that's a very important issue.
Yeah, you kind of put aside differences.
Yeah,
absolutely. What the main girl, her father? It seems like there's a little bit of a tension there.
Yeah, I mean, it's the typical you like a girl, and then there's your dad who is looking at you because I'm at this Jamaican picnic and I'm the only white guy there. So it's definitely with the scene. With the actual dad, with Malcolm Jamal-Warner, you could see in the scene the tension between us, me walking up, adjusting myself with the shirt and everything, just walking up very nervous, talking to him, and I start to, in one of the lines of the scene, I start to say black, and then I turn it to African American, and it comes out something like Black African American. You see that's a very nervous kid talking to this girl who likes her father. And then eventually corrects me, says, we're actually Caribbean, and that just makes Daniel feel terrible. And so he just feels horrible about what he's just said, so he's just all flustered. And I think I felt the tension was less about race and more just about who, what our, relationship was. If it was even if it even was a relationship.
Yeah.
Who he was to me and who I was to him.
Absolutely. And yeah, you're talking about, Malcolm Jamal-Warner. You also have, Donis Leonard Jr., Chase Macklin. How did the whole cast fit together? I mean, it seems like a very good cast. Obviously, a lot of people who have had a good background. How do they all fit together?
It was a great cast. I mean, we worked on it for 4 days, and the first day we filmed the first scene of the short film, and we kind of just got to know each other. I met Shays once before at a small, I'm gonna call it a table read, but small reading of the script with the director. And I got to meet Donis for the first time and the other kids, and I just thought it went really well. We were all kind of feeling each other out. And then eventually by the second day, it was a little not slower, but it was a smaller day. It was only at a house, so there weren't a lot of people there. But the third day and the fourth day, where we filmed at the park, those were the two best days because we actually got to spend more time together when we actually got to like bond a little more.
Were those 4 long days? I mean, a lot of people think, it's a short film, about 16 minutes long. Is that 4 long days? I mean, that seems like a short time even to film something like that.
Yeah, it was pretty short. I mean, one of the days we filmed just strictly in a house, doing the scenes of me getting dressed with all the cool clothes, like the ending scene, the scene with Emefa and her dad, and then the scene outside in the backyard of the house. But the other days, they were kind of long. I mean, we worked mostly the maximum hours a kid can work, and they were very cold days too. And we were like shorts, like I was wearing the shorts. She was pretty sure she was wearing shorts as well. And we had to pretend like, and we had to do this in Wet Hot American Summer too. We had to pretend like it was a nice New York summer and we were just having fun at the picnic when really we were freezing. So it was not, I wouldn't say it was horrible. It was actually pretty fun.
Yeah, for everyone out there who doesn't know Hollywood, it's not perfect all year round.
It's not.
Some days where you're taping and you have to make it look, and then the director calls cut and you immediately put a coat on and try to warm up.
Warming jackets and stuff, and I mean, it's really tough, like, filming a scene that's supposed to be summer in the middle of October. Like, I think those days, it was just beginning November, and it was freezing, even though it's Los Angeles, it was still freezing.
Early morning and late night, it can get down.
We had some call times that were like 6 a.m., and it was like, to a Californian, this is really cold, but it was like 40-some-odd degrees, 48, something around that. Maybe like 50s, and it was tough, but we made it work.
Yeah, when you make that trip, David here is a Packer fan. He said he'd been meaning to go to Green Bay. When you go to Green Bay, you make sure to bring those jackets. It's gonna be. I shall. It's gonna be cold.
I will make sure to bundle up.
Oh man, you're talking about your clothing. You rock the fanny pack.
I did. Yeah.
Do you like the fanny pack look? Do you think it's coming back?
I wouldn't, in my personal life, wear a fanny pack, but I definitely thought it worked on the character. Mm-hmm. He looked pretty cool. I mean, it was me. I always think I look cool, but
that's right.
He looked. I thought he looked pretty cool, especially with the hat and the shirt, which I really liked, and the shorts. I actually thought it worked.
Some of that style is actually coming back now.
Is it?
Like early '90s, I see some trends out there, and it's
I could see it coming back.
Hey, this. I feel like you put it away in your closet, and so sometimes I even look at things that we wear now, and I'm like, oh, this might be going out of style. But wait. You just wait maybe like 10 years.
Yeah, it'll come back.
Bring it back out, and you will have the retro style.
Oh, yeah. The retro, like, people are bringing back the retro 90s style. Like, all the colors and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's really cool. I think they should bring it back.
Hey, I'm with you on that one. So this premiered at the Tribeca Film Festival in New York just about 2 weeks ago. Talk about the reception there. What were you first time at Tribeca? Have you been to Tribeca before?
First time.
First time?
First time at a film festival, actually.
Yeah.
The reception was great. Tons of people came out to see it. I only got to go to, I think, 3 screenings in total. First screening, we had this giant theater, and everyone was there, and it was just really good. And the second and third one, we had a smaller theater, but still, you could feel like the atmosphere was really good. Everyone was liking the movie. It was in a set of a bunch of movies, and everyone was laughing at different points in different screenings. And I just thought, people there, they were coming up to me telling me, oh, I loved your movie, oh, you were so good. It just made me feel really good to see people enjoying something that we worked on.
And you said it was interesting because you went to 3 different showings, and each time people laughed at different points.
Oh yeah. It was actually kind of confusing to me because, like, I'd say one line, everyone in this giant theater starts laughing, and it's really funny, and then they continue on, and then next night I say the same line, it's dead silent. Couple lines later, everyone's laughing again. Like, and they wouldn't laugh at that in the big screening. So I definitely, like, different audiences found things, found different things funny, but I definitely thought there was, like, mutual, like, laughter in some places. But it was really cool.
Do you think, obviously, it's 16 minutes, a short film, looking to make a longer film, was this kind of like were you nervous going in, or was it, the writer-director, was nervous going in thinking, this could be the reception of if we get a bigger movie or we don't? I mean, what kind of, talk about what was on the line and kind of what the overall goal is hopefully in the future for this?
I mean, the overall goal is to make a full-length movie, full-length feature. I think Matt has actually, when he was in college, he wrote a script for a full movie, and he was, I believe he was told to shorten it down, make a short film, just show everyone what could happen in the movie and what he's capable of. And I thought I tried to bring my best to the plate, and hopefully we can turn this thing into a movie.
Yeah, and who it's the writer is that's Macklin, right? And he had previously won an award, I think, at Tribeca.
Yeah.
So he
Matt.
Yeah. And so, it's good. I'm sure it's a good reinforcement to be able to hear that. And even, looking at it and saying, oh, these people laughed at this part but didn't laugh at this one, and someone else, didn't laugh at the first part but laughed at the second part, is that there are various parts in there that are funny and people can relate to and people enjoy.
Oh, yeah. Because there are many different styles of audiences. I felt that, again, there was a mutual laughter in some places, but I definitely thought that I was able, and the whole cast was able to, make Matt's, I wouldn't call it a dream, but, what he wrote and what he envisioned, actually make it come to life. And I thought that was just amazing that we could get the great reception that people gave us.
Mm-hmm. Ty, the family that you're, trying to woo the daughter, they're Jamaican. Did you know much about the Jamaican culture? Did you learn about that in film?
I didn't know much, and I didn't learn a lot. But the one thing I did learn about was the food, because
and what are your thoughts?
Oh, I love the food. It's amazing.
There you go.
During one of the scenes, during the picnic scene, we had food on set, and we had to take small bites. And actually, for lunch, I think the last day, we got Jamaican food, and we had jerk chicken and plantains. Mm-hmm. And I just thought learning about that culture and the food, because I love learning about different cultures and especially what they eat. So I thought that was a really great experience.
Plantains are delicious, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
I had a roommate where I lived last, and it was or not a roommate, but a hallmate, a person who lived next door. Her name was Taisha, and she was Jamaican. And so sometimes she would cook, and I'd be fortunate enough to get some leftovers. And oh man,
oh yeah,
they know their food down there.
They really do.
So looking at your character, we'll have advice for people who are boys growing up trying to talk to girls. What advice would you have for them? Looking at how to approach. There's no pressure here.
Yeah.
But what advice would you have for guys who are going up and trying to kind of woo a girl, maybe a little older? What advice do you have?
That's tough. That's a real tough one. I definitely think, some people may disagree with me, but I think that you shouldn't try to be someone that you're not. Just to impress them, even though that's what my character did. Mm-hmm. Try to dress so cool. But I think just you should be yourself, and if they like you for that, they're actually the right person for you. And another thing, talking to a girl you really like, you're nervous. Mm-hmm. You're really nervous. And I think, you can't just set nerves aside. It's not that easy. So I think just overcoming your fears and just not hesitating at all, just going for it. Not super going for it, but going for it and just talking to them and just kind of talk to them like you just talk to any other person. Don't talk to them like you're some sort of creep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's definitely important. And again, I just think you should be yourself.
I think that's even a good lesson, overall. And I look at this film and the film comparison that I kept thinking of when I'm thinking about, a movie of such cultural importance, talking about a difficult time, of racial time, but it's also kind of funny. And I kept thinking of Remember the Titans as kind of a movie comparison that has talked about, once again, talks about such an important time, but does so in a comical way. Do you see that? Am I stretching that? Do you really think of anything else that you could kind of almost compare it to?
No, I think that's a pretty good comparison. I want to, and I need to, but I haven't seen that Remember the Titans yet, and I'm planning to. But I think, off the top of my head, I can't think of a movie comparison. But I think this movie, to be good, I don't really even think it needs to be compared to anything. I think it could stand out alone, and I really think it's a great film.
So hoping to shoot this summer, right? And I know they're just trying to get some press out. And guys, I gotta tell you, I watched the trailer. I was laughing. The trailer is 2 minutes. The whole movie's 16 minutes. it's just hilarious, and it's because you relate to it. You have those times where you're growing up and you're like, oh yeah, I know what it was like to try to do that. And then the tension kind of between a guy talking to a girl's father, and even just the cultural jokes that are kind of thrown in there. It's just really good. Were you guys laughing on set? Was it? I mean,
yeah, we were. We were kind of laughing at like some scenes we had to do. Like they're funny. We'd laugh like some things we'd say. Like one scene I had to say, like, I ain't white, I'm Jewish, which is kind of a funny line. Like, even, like, I did it, and Matt's like, oh, do it like this, do it more like, and he said the line, and I'm like, oh, like that, and we kind of all had, like, a little laugh, and it's very hilarious script, and I thought that there were definitely points where we would just laugh at what was written.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, great film. We're hoping that it gets the funding, start shooting this summer. And you hopefully will be back for the main role. Yeah. I would think. You're a great guy, man. I'm telling you. I've watched some of your stuff. It's hilarious. Great movie. That is it for this edition of iTalk. Talking about the film Wannabe. Go online. Check it out. I'm going to be tweeting out the trailer. We'll talk about it a lot. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
From the Popcorn Talk Network and producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, and Phil Svitek, this is iTalk Movies. Long-form interviews with leading members of the film industry. And now, your host of iTalk Movies. From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network. The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.